I'm Kathryn Hahn, and this is my last meal.
Every person has exactly two things in common. We all gotta eat and we're all gonna die. You might recognize today's guest from Step Brothers, Bad Moms, and Agatha All Along. You can catch her in Apple TV Plus's new show, The Studio, out now. And if you were in Cleveland in the 1980s, well, you could have caught her on an icy bridge drinking Boone's Farm. Kathryn Hahn, welcome to the show.
Nice. Yeah, Boone's Farm was what we definitely drank in high school. That's what we could get our hands on.
I pictured you climbing up that icy jackknife bridge with the motorcycle jacket from Sunshine 2.
Oh my God!
What color was the Boone's Farm?
It was called Golden Delicious Apple, and on it just said, serve very cold.
That's the only way it doesn't taste like pure poison.
The blue Fantasia makes me really want to vomit.
Have you thought about your last meal before?
No.
Never.
I live in total denial that's going to happen at the end of it.
I'm so excited for your existential crisis with me.
No, you're going to have it. No, I have been, definitely. My kid is going to college next year, so your mortality really becomes very, like, ooh, okay.
What about your kid leaving for college makes you fear your own mortality more? Because for me, that's almost like, well, it's kids leaving, there's even more freedom in a certain way, and you're just seeing another phase of his life, but is it like you're going into the next phase of yours, which is just dying?
For me, as a parent, you never think your kid is going to grow up. So the closer you get to them leaving, the more it's like the present that you're in is also the past at the same time, because you're just seeing everything is starting to feel like very sacred, like your time together. And so I imagine that would be a feeling that you would have the closer you get to the end, if we're all lucky to make it naturally to the end, that feeling of time will just change. There's a Tom Wolfe quote that's like, you can never go home again, and every time I hear that, I'm like, because it's true, like it'll never be.
Made me feel sick right down in the stomach.
I know,
you know
me
what
too.
I mean? You ready to eat the first course?
I am so hungry to eat the first course.
Kathryn, for the first course of your final meal, we have the saganaki. This is kaseri cheese melted into a cast iron, served with a lemon, some pita, and jordache, the Greek salad, plus a Shirley Temple, some fresh ginger ale, a little bit of grenadine, some lime, and cherries. I'm nervous because I have to light this on fire. Would you mind if I did the honors?
Totally believe in you.
Oh God, thank you.
So you're pouring what on it?
So this is called Metaxa. This is a brandy from the island of Samos. Up now, and
woo!
Is it on fire? There we go.
Oh my God,
Jesus,
it is
Kathryn.
so delicious.
Why saganaki? Where was the first time you had it?
I grew up in Cleveland, and there was a place that you could walk to from my house called the Mad Greek. And my baby brother and it was like a big sister thing that I would do with him. We would walk there and get Shirley Temples and flaming cheese. I just remember it so dearly. That's such a part of our. I'm putting this on.
How old were you when you did that? Please do it up.
I was probably thought I was like a cool older sister, so I bet I was like 14.
Yep.
And he was 9, and it was just the best. I also have another Shirley Temple story, but I have to have some first. These are
nothing better.
I love a Shirley Temple. Have you had a Roy Rogers?
I don't think I have. What's a Roy Rogers?
Roy Rogers is a Shirley Temple, except they use Coca-Cola instead of the.
You do like to party.
I do. I really like you guys. I love to party. I'm gonna dig in.
Dig in, please. Absolutely. Can I serve you some Greek salad?
Yes, please.
All right.
So my mom got us season tickets to the Cleveland Ballet when I was like little, younger than that.
I didn't know there was a ballet in Cleveland.
I think there is, the Cleveland Ballet. It's so good.
Oh, there's so much wet liquor on the bottom. I love it.
I know. There's so many jokes I could make right then. So there's a place downtown called the Elegant Hog Saloon, and I would get basically it was called a Fran Cheesy Deluxe, which is a hot dog stuffed with cheese.
God,
and
isn't culture beautiful?
It's so beautiful. And that was, my mom would always have like something, and I'd be like, can I get the hot dog and a Shirley Temple? And it was the best pregame.
Oh my God, I wish I was there right now, watching some Cleveland Ballet. Come on. They do weirdly pair very well together.
They do!
You had great taste as a cool 14-year-old.
Okay, here we go.
The lemon. I want to talk about your new show, the studio.
Yes.
You played the head of marketing
Yes.
who tries to constantly keep her finger on the pulse, and as a result,
Yes.
speaks in like an aggressive corporate Gen Z patois. Did you keep any of the Gen Z lingo in your own vocabulary?
No.
None?
I would get mercifully made fun of by my daughter. I had to ask for what a couple things meant that were written in there, but then I was like, I'm just going to ask Evan and stuff. Because they were like, no, Mom. Because I was like, what's on God? I had no idea. I was like, I kept saying to God. I was like, to God? And Seth and Evan were like, no, it's on God.
I think you could have gotten your daughter paid as like a consultant, an expert. I think that would have been a good role for her.
I needed it. I was like, it doesn't make sense. Like, what is that? What's on God?
Oh, I couldn't tell you. I'm 32 years old. I don't know.
Why is it on God and not to God? Because I thought it was hand to God.
Or like on your, like on my mother, like on my mother's name. What is the most logical endpoint of that? Like on God, like on God's name. I promise that this is a true statement.
Or like, you better be telling the truth. On God?
Yeah.
That's how I put it in. That was how it was in this show.
It's shortened it. Did you learn about the word gyat and what it means from your kids?
I was like, you gotta get going. School's about to start. And then they made so much money. They were stop. I kept doing it. But what is it? Like, don't get a brat summer.
Sorry, can you run that one more time? I think the audio got messed up.
I hope you have a brat summer. You gotta get a brat summer.
You gotta get a brat summer.
You gotta get a brat.
Yeah, judge's ruling?
Yeah.
That is technically correct. I have no idea.
What's gyat? Is it a verb or adjective?
I think it's a large butt. A gyat, as in, if you see somebody with a large posterior chain, you would say, gyat damn. It's like an affectation, right. But I think it's just a noun.
I remember hearing that.
Anyways,
damn.
You play it really well in the show, and it absolutely works for the character, and it's
I knew it at
utterly
the time,
hilarious.
and now it's gone.
I do want to talk about the difference between your first role in TV and your latest role in TV, because you watch the studio, and every single episode is wildly different. It's like they're their own standalone movies.
Yeah.
Crossing Jordache, Crojo, as the real ones call it. It's 117 episodes.
Crossing Jordache. That's what I used to call it too. Crossing Jordan.
You're an inspiration to me stylistically. But there's 117 episodes and they all follow roughly the same structure.
Oh, for sure.
How wild was it to like juxtapose those two experiences in your mind?
Crojo was my first job coming out here. It was procedural. There was like basically like a storyline with the cast, and then there was another, horrible, gruesome murder. And I was the grief counselor in the morgue my first couple of years. And so it was me sitting across of some incredible day playing actor that had to go through the worst day of their life. And so I'd be like, just try to give as much good energy to them, because that is hard to just drop into.
Yeah.
Your grandma got run over by a reindeer or whatever.
Do you remember any of the horrific things that happened? Because there was a level of horror that only exists in like an early 2000s network procedural.
Yeah.
That is just insane.
Oh, there was a lot of it. A lot of decapitations for no reason. A lot of like skinned alive. Like it was a lot of weird stuff. It was never like, he died peacefully in his sleep.
Then they wouldn't have needed you to grief counsel, but say
Yes.
your husband died in a plane crash and then you found out that he was having an affair, and then the Japanese mother of the other person having an affair with him came in. Do you remember that episode?
No.
It's one of my favorite. I've watched so much Crossing Jordan now. I love it so much. Were you ever able to actually tap into the empathy and grief?
Yes,
of
all
that
the
show?
time.
Yeah.
But I mean, it was like you said, it was fantastical. So it was like difficult. I was also like the quirky, had my fake tattoos on and my like studded belts.
Yeah.
The tattoos were removed in like an episode.
And you were studying counseling at night.
Yeah, I was like, oh, didn't I tell you I had my tattoos removed and now I'm studying to be a clinical psychologist. And they were like, no, you didn't tell me. Basically, it was that the makeup team was like, it takes too long to put it on every day. So they were like, she's gonna just get them removed in an episode.
That's kind of one of the things I love about that era of TV, though, when it seems almost like slightly lower stakes in terms of you can just write things into the show. Like, I believe you got pregnant in the final season in real life. And
that was my husband, who was the baby daddy. Yes. It was so cute. We were and they took such, that show was so dear. Like, my husband and I got eloped basically during that show, and they sent us off with so much stuff. And when we had our like wedding night dinner at this really fancy place, like the magnums of champagne that came towards us, that we were like, we're not gonna have a magnum But they were very sweet. And then also when I had Leonard, on my firstborn, yeah, they wrote up pregnancy into it. And then they were so awesome when I went back to work. Just like, he was there all the time. He had yeah, they really accommodated family, personal life, human life. So I'm forever grateful to that show.
That's beautiful. Can we play a little game that's Who Said This? Lily Lebowski on Crossing Jordan or Friedrich Nietzsche, the nihilist philosopher? Okay. Sometimes people don't want to hear the truth because they don't want their illusions destroyed.
Lily.
No, that was Nietzsche. The body is the conduit to the soul. It is only through death that we pass on to a higher state.
Nietzsche.
That was Lily Lebowski. That was you in season 1, episode 3.
God!
The sun is going to come up tomorrow, whether we live or not.
Nietzsche.
No, that was you after you successfully talked down a man from bombing the morgue.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. There's always some madness in love, but there's also always some reason in madness.
Guys, I'm going to screw it up. Listen, they're both at the same level.
Iconic. They're kind of the same people, I think.
I'm going to say Nietzsche.
That is correct. And then finally,
God
has a cruel sense of humor.
That's Lily.
That's Lily.
Yeah,
that's absolutely Lily.
That's our girl.
She got 3 out of 5. Bring out the prize. We didn't get the prize. It was supposed to be a blue Boone's Farm. I know it's your favorite.
Oh!
Stop the show. Before we move on to the next course, I want to make sure you know about our special live stream event happening April 3rd, Survive the Mythical Kitchen. There's going to be chaos, there's going to be competition, there's going to be a grand prize that the Mythical Kitcheneers really desperately want to win. We've been designing all new challenges for this, and there is even a last meals element that you're not going to want to miss. Get your tickets now at mythicalkitchenlive.com. Kathryn, for the second course of your final meal, we have the Bunker Special, what your mom used to make for you. It is a piece of white toast with peanut butter, brown sugar thrown underneath the broiler until crackling and crunchy. And then we have our play on a TV dinner. This is a vegetarian version of a Salisbury steak. No, it is not. Then we have the Yukon Gold plum puree, some nice buttered peas, and then the apple crumble with a Chantilly whipped cream. We wanted to send you out in style, but also give you the nostalgia of the TV dinner.
Okay, yeah, this is definitely not the Hungry Man that I would have whenever my parents went out for the night.
You had Hungry Man, though. That was the Cadillac of TV dinners back in the day.
It was. I'm gonna dig in.
Dig in, please.
So good. This was what I would have whenever my parents went out, and was always a Salisbury steak, and watch like Knight Rider and Airwolf were right back to back.
This is such a specific moment in time. The Salisbury steak was the wettest per square inch of all the TV dinners. That's why I loved it. But we grew up on lean cuisine because we were in that era where they had to try and take them healthy, and I resented it so much.
We went through lean cuisine too. I kind of want to try to make this at home.
We'll give you the recipe gladly. If only you weren't going to your untimely death after this.
I know.
Oh, right at the prime of your career.
But honestly, this is the way.
That is actually, if it's like a Kobe cow or like a good heritage breed pig, you are supposed to feed them their favorite food first before. So,
Do you think that they do that?
Actually, yes. In this vegetarian meat, this is all vegetarian, by the way. We'll source from good cow. Tell me about the Bunker Special.
Oh.
Holy snap. Oh, it's so crunchy.
You guys, this is a secret weapon. Bunker is my mom's maiden name. And so this has gone through a lot of generations. And it was always never a dessert. It was always just like an after school snack. But it's candy.
Yeah. Well, it's candy on white bread, which is also kind of candy with peanut butter on it. Who cares? This is so good.
But it's the brown sugar.
Yeah. Kathryn, my teeth hurt.
Well, I'm sorry. You got to get with the program.
Shirley Temple.
Yeah, wash it down with some Shirley Temple.
I want to ask about your mom because you are just like hands down no caveats. Truly one of the funniest actors in the history of the planet. I say that very seriously. Truly, I believe that in my heart of hearts. But you're not like classically trained as a comedian. You got your MFA in drama from Yale. You said that your mom was like the comedy icon for you growing up.
Oh yeah.
Do you remember any recurring bits she had at the dinner table? Like what was it? Did she have a type 5?
There are so many. I don't know if it's just for the dinner table, but she would be like, "This room is so small, you have to walk outside to change your mind." It was like a lot of that. That was just really great.
That's like Catskills Borscht Belt.
No,
That's great.
I mean, that's kind of what she had like lines that she would say all the time. No, but she has a lot. Every Christmas, we would have to sing Happy Birthday, Baby Jesus. And then we would always have a joke about like how many candles we should actually put on it. So we would just put one on.
God, those are like quality bits though.
It was a hard dinner table to be at because between her and my father, it was like, whoo! They were hilarious.
Yeah.
I definitely was thinking that I was a really serious actor. Like that was the path I was taking. And I still love it. I love all of it. And then I think it wasn't until I moved out to LA and like auditioned for Adam McKay for Anchorman. It was this very small part that I really was like, okay, I think I understand this.
'Cause when you got on Step Brothers, to me, that was like the role that, I mean, really exploded.
That
And
was
you
so
going
fun.
toe to toe with John C. Reilly, especially in the bathroom, is just like one of the greatest scenes of all time. As I understand it, there are several outtakes in which you are planning the murder of Adam Scott's character.
Oh, yeah.
Do you remember any of the ways in which you said you'd do it?
Oh, they were so specific and so graphic. Like I would bring them. He would slip me the murder weapon. We would be in the middle of making love. It's like it was so graphic, and then we'd be like, "How do we dispose of the body?" And we had a very, very intense plan. I think of like what limbs we would cut off first, where we would have to dump it. Should I take the head in the back of my car and he takes the torso? Like it was so specific. I don't know why I didn't make it in that movie.
How do we access that footage? Surely you can make some calls and make it happen.
I've never seen that footage. I know.
We got to plan
Maybe
a
I'm
heist.
making it up.
We got to plan a heist. I don't think you are. I think that exists and we got to do
No,
it.
we definitely have it.
How did you use like dramatic tools in comedic roles? Because there's a very specific scene in a movie called The Goods, Live Hard, Sell Hard.
Yes.
Where you come out and you talk about the boxer that you dated. I
don't remember
to take a
anything.
dive. Do you remember this?
No.
If I said like Ramon, pop, pop, that you don't remember doing that at all.
Oh, is this the line where I'm like, they don't tell you that
The poop leaves the butt. Uh-huh.
that when you die, the poop leaves the butt?
It is. It's like a really great piece of acting. Where like you're doing this serious dramatic monologue, albeit comedically, and you end it with poop leaves the butt. You think that juxtaposition
When
makes
you
the comedy
die,
more powerful?
the poop leaves the butt.
Why am I trying to be James Lipton over here? Like, Kathryn, when you said the poop leaves the
If
butt.
this was James Lipton, I would be so happy. I'm feeling like maybe he wouldn't ask about poop leaving the butt and bunker special.
As your careers progress, you've taken on a lot more like juicier, more human roles. Do you find that comes with being more vulnerable on camera, or is comedy like equally vulnerable for you?
I think it's the same.
Yeah.
I mean, it's vulnerable to put yourself out there and hope that it lands. Yeah, I think it's like, it always comes from the same place for me.
God bless you. The pit of the actor's soul is where that comes from.
All day. Everything I've done today has included, I feel the most comfortable here though.
That's a huge sign of respect in many cultures.
It
to
is.
burp at the table.
It
Not
is.
ours.
Actually,
not ours, but a lot of them.
it should be.
I genuinely agree with you, yeah.
I mean, unless they're disgusting, like, I think that's
None of them have ever heard me burp. Don't you say it.
people don't burp.
I drink like 15 Diet Red Bulls a day. It's horrible.
That's really horrible.
No, you think I like the way I am? Absolutely not.
Don't do that.
I need somebody to yell at me and tell me not to.
Okay, don't do that anymore. It's bad for your insides. It's not good to have
ma'am.
those energy drinks, especially the diet ones. Have some iced green tea.
Who are you to say?
No, this is my last meal.
Okay.
Anyway, talking about drama.
Yes.
I do think it comes from the same, it has to be from the same source. It's just, you have to know who you are, what you want, and like how much gas to put on the pedal, I guess, tone-wise. And that's something you kind of have to like spidey your sense into, because sometimes it's not clear.
Yeah.
And the things I almost love the most are, my publicist is like, okay.
Would it make you more comfortable if I did it?
Yeah, sure. Can you make yourself do it? It's going to be energy drink. Oh, no. No.
Is Viggo Mortensen nice? I don't know. That was gonna be the next question.
But here's the thing. You really had to work for that.
I did. It was disgusting because I'll tell you
Yeah,
what.
because you saw you like
I know,
trying
I
to
kinda
get the
retched.
thing up.
Oh, wait, no. What were you saying?
I was going to go back to your energy drinks and say, stop it. Okay, but anyway, now we can go.
Captain Fantastic is it's one of my favorite movies
I
of all
love
time.
that movie so much.
Incredible.
And I think I knew coming out of that set, I mean, Steve Zahn and I were just kind of in and out for a little bit of it.
Zahn
but
and Hahn, just like it's always been.
I know. I adore him. We knew it was going to be real special because when I came to visit and I saw all those kids together and the relationship that they had formed, like they went through a whole like wilderness camp together before we got there. So that family was like living in the woods together for a very long time.
Did anything from that movie teach you about like the many inevitable failures you will have as a parent? Because that's kind of my favorite part of it. It's a very like human story about somebody trying their absolute best, sticking to their convictions, then ultimately realizing that inevitably the levees are going to break.
I mean, that was a part of the regret I was talking about that's happening now. Like, I should have taught him this. Like, we should have gone here together. But the relief kind of went off of the pressure of that, because I don't know one person that hasn't been screwed up by their parents in some way.
Yeah.
Every generation, I feel like, heals something from the last generation, possibly. So that's what I want to believe.
What's the main thing you're trying to heal in your kids' generation?
That's a good question. I'm trying to, I guess it's like self-love, which was never something that was ever talked about or like it always felt kind of cheesy and I didn't understand it. And I was like, well, it sounded like something else, but I was.
Onanism, the Latin word is onanism for self-love.
Oh my God. That's getting annoying because you know everything.
I'm sorry, I'll shut up.
How to speak Greek.
Stop eating energy drinks, stop. Say it, okay.
Know who Nietzsche is.
That's okay.
But
like self-love, it's masturbation is what you're talking about.
yes, exactly.
Sounds like that, yeah.
That's what I thought it was, self-soothing.
Yeah.
But it is, the concept of it is really, I would love to instill that in them, because the more you really love yourself and respect yourself, the more loving and respectful you are to other humans. Because I was a mean bitch until I started loving myself.
You had the motorcycle jacket, of course you were.
No, I wasn't at all.
Kathryn, for the third course of your final meal, we have the fresh baked Irish soda bread with some nice Irish salted butter over here. Oh. And then the witch's stew. We made a vegetarian version of the stew that your mom used to make on Halloween. We got some deep, dark cremini and oyster mushrooms in there, some potatoes, carrots, and then, of course, we have the Roy Rogers. You mentioned this in the first round. The culinary team had to whip this up, and so...
Thank you, culinary team. Can you be at my house all the time?
Oh, no, they have really competitive day rates, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, they do catering.
Great.
Yeah.
Okay, you're hired. You're hired.
Tell me about the witch's stew and the soda bread.
I come from Irish-German stock. So when I grew up on St. Patty's Day, my mom would make a fresh loaf of Irish soda bread. And then, it's so good.
If you want me to speak with an Irish accent, I'm happy to do that.
Okay.
Are you okay? Was that a sneeze? What just went on there?
Top of the morning to ya.
That was pretty good.
Okay. We would wear pins that said, Aaron go braless. Instead of Aaron go bra.
Is that like a feminist screed or like go?
It is now.
It is now. It is now. Witch's stew. Your mom used to make this on Halloween.
She would make a very hearty beef. I know there's a vegetarian option, but a very hearty beef stew before we went out trick-or-treating. Because she really wanted us to have some protein in there.
Good.
So this would be the tradition. And my brothers and I would be like, ugh.
Kathryn Hahn throwing up beef stew on the Cleveland lawns.
But I know. Now I really appreciate it.
I don't know if you know this. You played a witch. In a show called
I did.
Agatha All Along.
Yes.
Did the studio ever take your pitch of calling the show Agatha Witch Please seriously?
They did use that on some promotional goods.
Okay.
Like I think some posters and stuff.
But either way,
Either
it's all the light of day.
way,
You had your creative input.
I definitely had my creative input. And clearly did not get credit for it.
Getting credit for it now, on your deathbed, it's happening.
Yeah.
You said that you really admired the way that Amy Poehler ran the set at Parks and Rec because she was #1 on the call sheet and she would host after-lunch dance parties.
Yes.
You was #1 on the call sheet on Agatha. Did you take any inspiration from Amy?
I always I'm like an ensemble. Like that's how I began. It's an ensemble. So I always think like taking lessons like from people that I've worked with the best in the #1 position. I just think my job, like one of my jobs is also to make an ensemble. Like make sure that everybody feels as comfortable as possible, as safe as possible. And I remember Amy just being so supportive of everybody would come in, that they felt so free. And that's, I think, the main thing you want is to have every actor feel as free and comfortable to play.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is that the feeling that you as an actor were always sort of chasing? Even as you were describing that scene with John C. Reilly right? As you were describing that scene with John C. Reilly and just riffing on how you'd murder Adam Scott's character.
Yeah.
You know, it sounds like it's this like flow state of being connected with both yourself and with another person. I think it's one of the coolest things to see acting on screen, was it always you sort of just like chasing that sense of connection in a way?
Yes, because because those are two different birds. Like improvising a movie and having that freedom to like literally make up anything you want was crazy, and I hadn't really experienced that before. Like the script itself was so genius, and then the fact that he was so confident, Adam McKay, that he would just let us do whatever we wanted. And that's different than having something that's really scripted, or like the writer director wants it really word perfect. There's another freedom in that, in which you have like limitations. It's sometimes like when you have the bigger the budget, the like more bland it gets.
Yeah, creativity comes from restraint. It's like make a vegetarian TV dinner.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. You consulted with a real witch before you did Agatha.
Yes, I did.
Did you take any like fun pagan rituals with you?
During the making of Agatha, I definitely had like a little crystal altar in my house. Spent more time outside. Was definitely barefoot in the grass a bunch.
That's witchy.
I literally stayed in like a witch's house in the middle of like the woods because I wanted to be closer to the studio. It's outside of Atlanta.
When you say a witch's house, do you mean like a house that looks like a witch would live in it, or like just like a witch's condo
in downtown Atlanta?
Yeah.
No, it was like a little house that it was in the middle of so many trees down a very long driveway, and it was just tiny. Like you would just hear the birds. There's like a bazillion deer that would go through, but I would freak myself out. Yeah. Sometimes at night I would be like,
witch's house.
Yes, but I did love it. It kind of made me shit crazy, but I did love it for this part.
It's interesting, like how juicy of a role Agatha really was, especially if you think about Marvel. But I mean, the witch is like such a powerful literary metaphor.
Yes, I know.
I think for a lot of like men's fears, specifically of women outside the context of a man, right? A woman who's getting older, doesn't live with a man, tinkering with things. What could she possibly be doing? She's trying to burn us all.
Doesn't care about men, doesn't need men at all. Like all of a sudden they're pregnant, and you're like, how is that witch pregnant? Because there's no man involved. Yeah. So they just live on the outskirts saying whatever they want, being as loud as they possibly want, and have magic, which I think women have already.
Also, I think age plays in witches. They're generally depicted as old. Aubrey
Older.
Plaza plays Lady Death.
Yes.
For fighting against death. You said that like your juiciest roles have come after you turned 40. Like, do you see yourself on this parallel path with Agatha?
Oh, for sure.
You are Agatha.
I am Agatha.
Hell yeah.
I do feel her she's like one of the parts I felt the most kindred spirit with. You know, they call Hecate this Greek creature that contains the maiden mother crone. And there's like 3 stages of some women's lives, but there's something about the witch that is all 3, like she carries all 3 at all times. And the crone is of course the most wise, the most doesn't need a man at all. She's the one that they all kind of look up to. So I feel like in this show, I was walking through all these portals to her cronehood, and it was like each trial was another like lessening of like letting your youth go kind of a way. I mean, I am young as hell.
You're young as hell.
But not that even clearly matters. So it's like that kind of, that was an interesting part of it for me, for sure. And we had such an amazing cast of all ages. So like incredible women and just like incredible queer people, Joe Locke. Like so we definitely felt like a little coven because it was such a scrappy group that aren't usually represented, especially in Marvel. Yeah, so really. It felt very wicked stepsistery. Yeah. But they were so psyched and so behind it in the best way. So it was really cool.
Kathryn, for the final course of your final meal on Earth, if you would remove your cloche in 3, 2, go. So what we have, does this look familiar to you?
Okay, guys, I did not anticipate this at all. Okay, so for all the kids at home, this is...
Sort of a rocket ship or what?
It's a rocket ship.
Yeah.
This is Jeff Bezos' rocket.
Got the squat nature to it, you can tell.
Okay, so I was in a movie called Bad Moms Christmas, and my part Carla, this is the only shape she would make for her gingerbread cookies. Also, this is one of the 3 things I posted on Instagram ever.
Yes, it is.
But my husband snuck a dick-shaped gingerbread cookie in there, much to my children's delight. We're a very mature family. But this is great. I don't know where to start.
Do you eat the boot? Do you eat the boosters or the...
I don't know. It's like it's so weird to look at. I'm just gonna look like this.
Yeah. Oh God! No, I felt it.
You gotta get that over with.
No, it's like a heart. It's beautiful.
Yeah. Just get this over with.
Where does your love of gingerbread cake come from?
I mean,
it's right there.
As a kid, that was a big part of growing up in Cleveland, getting ready for the holidays, is we would always make gingerbread cookies. And gingerbread, I don't think I had it until I was like a little bit older, but I really prefer this to the cookies. Always. I love it so much.
This is truly one of my favorite things.
Isn't it amazing? Do you have it over the holidays?
No, I did like, not until later. I was Jewish, so I would.
You would never.
Sufganiyot and all that kind of stuff.
I don't know what that
Gingerbread,
is.
Sufganiyot. You're basically Jewish. The fact that you're not Jewish. How many people are shocked that you're not
called?
Jewish?
You said a name for this.
Cloche. What would you call it?
Too close for comfort. So stupid.
Have you started the Swedish art of death cleaning yet?
Yes, I'm obsessed with it.
Well, you've actually started like practicing it though?
I mean, a little bit. I mean, not to get into. I mean, I guess this is death and food.
No, literally the place to get into.
My dear dad passed away a year ago, and one of the things when I walked through his home was like, I wish he had read the Swedish art of death cleaning. There's a lot of things for us to deal with.
Yeah.
Stuff-wise. And I love the idea that it's not like the idea of like only keeping the stuff that gives you joy. It's the idea of like only keeping the stuff that will make the people that you've left behind joy.
Yeah.
So that is like a beautiful way of reframing it and also simply decluttering.
Yeah. What were the emotions that you uncovered when you were like going through your own childhood home after your dad passed?
The emotions were like, it was layered. I saw like a lot of stuff that he had gotten after we were kids, like layers of it. And behind it all was like like so deep inside was like our baby stuff and like our books when we were kids and like my Barbies. So like when it finally got to the real personal stuff, that's when it was like, ooh, had to like sit there for a second. But the other stuff, it felt like, just clutter.
Are you glad that you had that experience with that nostalgia?
Yeah, I really am glad.
You are?
I mean, I'm not like, I wouldn't say like I'm a sentimental person with stuff. I think that's probably because of, my environment. So I really could live a very minimal life. Like I don't really have like, as long as I have photo albums and maybe like we have a keepsake box for each kid that has like very special things in it. Otherwise, I'm not very sentimental for objects and stuff.
Yeah.
Sometimes I like...
I didn't work for that one. That was just timed up really well.
This is the most disgusting last meals you've ever had.
We've done it. It's interesting when you talk about your dad's like kind of dying arrangements and not having any like, none of them are actually for you. You're dead, at least in my own worldview. You're not looking at anything. Your death arrangements are for the living.
Yeah.
What do you sort of ultimately want to leave your kids in that way?
Well, after experiencing it from this part, I would love to make it very specific and clear for them. Every single thing in writing so that they can spend that time, I don't want to assume, but that time properly, being able to like grieve. Because a lot of the time that I could have been or should have been grieving, I was just dealing with logistics, which I think a lot of people would handle that way. But just literally getting the stuff out of the house.
Yeah. Ultimately, what do you think happens when you die?
I don't know. I want to believe, like in my mind, I believe that it's because I don't know if this happened to you. Like my dad was very much alive. We just had his year death anniversary, and he has been really around, like in my dreams nonstop. Like he's very awake, and so obviously I think that's a memory.
Sure.
It's just memory, but there's also a part of me that's like energetically feels like we still have this like weirdly like a reparative relationship now, like how he comes to me in my dreams or like when I see him, it feels like it feels actually like a clearer, cleaner relationship. I don't know if that makes sense, or maybe it's just the way I've like been able to process it in like a good way. Like I definitely felt like when we said goodbye, I felt very clean. So to answer your question, I want to believe that it's so much energy in a human being that I can't imagine that just from a practical way, that energy can't just be totally gone.
You ready to get in the lightning round?
Yep.
Let's do it. Marry, kill, Nutso, Shirley, Squirrely, Know-It-Owl.
Not so.
Nutso.
Kill Shirley.
Absolutely.
Marry Know-It-Owl.
Who's the one person, dead or alive, you'd want to share your actual last meal with?
Oh, my hubby. And the kids.
Can
I
bring
pick
them all.
my
You can
family?
bend the rules. Yeah, this isn't real.
That would be the best.
What song do you want played at your funeral?
I would love some, like maybe a Billie Holiday or like a Ella Fitzgerald song would be really great.
Who's one Marvel character you'd want to see opposite Agatha?
I have been asked this, and I think Doctor Strange or Loki would be really fun. Mischievous magic. Mischievous magic. I feel drunk right now.
You are.
I don't know what is happening.
You ate a lot of liquor cheese, Kathryn.
Oh my God.
I don't see the Hulk with Agatha. Kind of like a black cat girl, golden retriever guy situation.
Yeah. I think like like a wizard or like a mischief maker. Also, of course, Scarlet Witch.
Scarlet.
Yeah.
Who's your favorite cameo in the studio?
Oh my God, there's so many. But
so many.
Ron Howard was pretty amazing.
Unreal.
He's got a great episode, and you forget what an awesome actor he is because he's open. Like he has his whole childhood.
I grew up watching.
Totally.
Yeah.
So he's fantastic.
Who's your dream eulogizer at your funeral?
Oh, I would want it to be someone that knows me really well. I wouldn't say like, no.
Kathryn, I accept.
Okay, I'm putting you right in there.
So down.
And my family's gonna be like, who? And I'm gonna be like, have you not seen my Mythical Kitchen episode?
You kids watch TikTok? I'm sorry, I interrupted you. Who would it be?
I think it would be, again, one of the 3 most important humans in my life. So my hubby or one of my 2 kids. They'll have to duke it out. Yeah.
What's your biggest fear?
I think it all ties into the end of it. I guess it would be wasting too much time worrying or ruminating or being anxious about, but just something instead of living like, I don't want to miss the minutes. And I've lost plenty of minutes. I think we all have. But like, I would love to not.
What's your greatest regret?
There's a couple of movies that also happen to be out of town. So it's like it was like a double whammy of not being with my kids, missing them, and also just being like, why did I do this? And also, I don't know. There was a lot of chapters of I was ruminating or just like so much time, like my decision making for a while there was like all that wasted time, I think. But I could have been like really present with my kids.
Are you happy, finally?
I'm very happy.
You seem very happy.
I'm very happy. Yeah. I mean, I definitely have days. But I am right now, in this minute I'm in right now. I'm very happy, very full.
Kathryn, thank you so much for joining us. If you want to deliver your last words to that camera right there.
She picked the wrong battles, Kathryn Hahn. 1973 to 2099. This was so fun.
Oh
a total pleasure.
Kathryn Hahn, thank you so much. Everybody give it up for Kathryn.
guys.
She's in the studio on Apple TV+. You can find the entire Crossing Jordan catalog on Amazon.
Amazing. I didn't know that.
You gotta go see the studio on Apple. I think that's how it's working. That's how.
Apple TV Plus. Yeah.
Gotta.
You gotta see it on Apple TV Plus.
We all gotta eat and we're all gonna die. But in the meantime, you can wear our last meal's tee and hat, available now at mythical.com.